Hi guys, I hope you're all doing really well. And that's it. We've come to this part 3, the final part of the interview for the masses with Dave Bascombe. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I enjoyed filming it. Based on the comments, you guys are really liking it. And I am so happy to have had this opportunity to go to Dave Bascombe and ask him the questions that I've always wanted to have answered, and indeed some of the questions that you wanted to have answered. Anyway, before we jump into this video, I just want to show you that I have got 3 copies here of Music for the Masses. Now, when you watch this video, you will notice that I got Dave Bascombe to individually autograph all 3 of these copies. Now, if you remembered, before I went on this interview to go and interview Dave Bascombe, I asked you guys to help me fund this little expedition interview. And to those of you who did, I promised you that 3 of you would be eligible to win one of these autographed Music for the Masses copies, autographed by Dave Bascombe himself. Now, make sure you watch this video to the end, because you will see Dave autographing these vinyls. And also to those of you who were so kind to sponsor me and pledge money to help me fund this project, your names will all appear in the credits afterwards, and you will be the ones whose names will be entered into the draw. This draw will be taking place via a live stream here on the Vaughn channel, and all the information is in this video which you're about to see. So guys, once again, thank you so much for helping me make this dream come true for myself and for you. And sit back and relax as we jump into part 3 of an interview for the masses with Dave Bascombe.
What's your favourite track on the album? You said Never Let Me Down Again.
Yes, I think that's... But
Yeah.
Pimp, actually. I really like Pimp as well.
And Pimp. And what... Although this record is very different to your Tears for Fears records, there is a sonic similarity that we can hear, and you
Right.
probably hear as well. You can hear it, but you're closer to it.
Yeah.
But to us, when I first, as a younger person, heard that you had produced that, then I said, does have that kind of, there's something, because it's quite an epic sounding record,
Yeah.
which you managed to cultivate with Shout. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's kind of got like this record's got slightly more rocky kind of feel to it.
Yeah. Well, I think in a word, it's reverb.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
And, we sort of explored it pretty heavily in Songs in the Big Chair. And reverb, there was all these new devices coming out where you get much lusher and sonically better stuff. So it's exciting. And when I say I love the new technology, and that was kind of my area really.
Sure. And the geekiness of it is when you get a new piece of gear, it has to go in somewhere.
Well, so. certainly, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I was to me it sounds overdone now, but no, it's fine. It does gives it an orchestral bigness to it, which I think was very in tune with what Alan was after. It was just not necessarily orchestral, but obviously he comes from that side of it.
Definitely had sort of more like an epic sort of. It did have a leaning to more a classical orchestral side, as opposed to previous stuff. So, how did you approach the overall sound of Music for the Masses?
Well, I don't think we ever talked about having how it should be, or I
just
never
organically
really had
unfolded.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously Alan had a vision on it, I think, and. So I don't think apart from angling for things like guitars, or drum sounds in things. So it wasn't like a sit down, right, I think this vision should be this. It was just me, mainly in my particular area, which is engineering, but suggesting certain sound approaches, really, as the ones I mentioned.
Okay, and was Alan very serious in the studio? Sort of not in a friendly kind of way, but very focused kind of.
Yeah, very focused. Yeah. But it was always never that serious,
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the most serious one of the lot, because he was
having to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't always be laughing if you're programming it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and obviously, one of the questions is, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Someone wanted to know, what parts did Fletch play? So the question obviously is when you're programming it, who actually did the programming? Would that be playing the keyboards?
I said Martin would be doing the programming to Yumi, as far as I remember.
Okay.
Or, God, this is really hazy, but Alan would do most.
Alan would do most of the, and that's exactly how I envisioned it. Right. So was there anything unique to the mixing approach of this record that was, say, different to you would do with, say, Peter Gabriel or?
Not really.
It's just
no.
I think this is people wanting to see more into it than what is. I mean, you as an engineer and you just take the rational approach as to what works.
Kind of. Yeah. So it's got a certain sound because of all the influences. There's me.
Sure.
There's the songs and Depeche Mode's approach and Alan's approach on it. So I mean that's what all good music, which I love it because it does take on a higher plane without being too pretentious. It does go somewhere else. And for a fan, it's like I was when I was a kid, it's very hard to know what the hell is going on. But even now, I get cast occasionally whether knowing the process inhibits my enjoyment. It doesn't. Really the opposite, actually. I hear everything I hear a record that I like, I think, whoa.
Yeah.
I can technically analyse what's going on there, but I still don't understand the process that's made them choose to make those decisions.
The magic,
yeah. The magic, exactly. And the magic of that album is a combination, really.
Yeah. The name Music for the Masses is quite a bit tongue-in-cheek, really, because they were never a band for the masses. But this was really the album that really sort of got them broke America for them. With the.
I wasn't really aware of that. Well, the tour, absolutely. I remember Martin telling me we're on the plane out to Paris, I think, when he said, I've got to start off for the album. And I'm not doing the impersonation of him, but Music Masses. I thought that's just fantastic. So great. And obviously, it went with the artwork, was fantastic, and the orange speakers.
Yeah, that was like symbolic. Yeah.
And in fact, just to digress a bit, I mean, I saw them at, I think it was Bercy in Paris, big one on the start of the show, and with the spotlights on those speakers out there. And I think Pimp was the intro music.
Yes,
and
it was.
Me, it was so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been at a rally, You could have come out and said, let's bomb something.
And you were there. So,
and
it was a feeling of satisfaction sitting there going, I was part of that.
I know, it's really, really love the fact they use that as an opening track.
It's great, because there's the 101 documentary. Okay, start the tape, and just the way Pimp starts, it just builds and builds and builds, and it's like I was listening to it yesterday, and I just think it's got to a point, then another part, and I forgot how much it builds up.
Well, it's one of my favourite tracks, and maybe partly because it's one of my favourite mixes on the album. Again, because I did get a chance to remix it and get it a bit better. And, and I'm always thinking. I'd like to have a go at remixing some of the other ones. I mean, when we did the 5-1, did I say this already?
We had a chance. This off camera,
we went back to, we had this guy, Kevin, who's a great engineer at Mute. He was doing it with me. Well, he's doing most of it. And he did a great mix on Sacred. I thought, great, that's how it should have sounded.
Right.
So,
yeah, well, as I say, it's very interesting to hear you criticising some of the mixes, because to everyone it's just like there'll be someone there going, "What does he know? What does he know?"
Oh, of course.
I'll be like, "He's the guy."
No, I get that totally. I mean, I've had this.
That is the case.
Yeah, well, McCartney's talking about. Fuck off! What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's very tempting to sort of criticise your heroes. You're thinking you're missing the plot, here, mate. That was really. Why don't you do all that? And you think you can tell him what. This should probably go off camera, but I met Tony Banks from Genesis the other day, and I'd done a solo album with him years ago. So I went out to the studio because a mate of mine's worked with him for a long time, and we were going to have lunch. He said, Tony wants to come out and say hello. I thought, fantastic, that's so nice. It's flattering that he wants to come and say hello. And I became fanboy, even though I worked with him 20 years ago, but I was a massive fan of theirs. And we got into this discussion about how this is a boring story, but one of their tracks, there was a bum note on the bass right at the end of the fade. And as a kid, I was thinking, why is that there? Why did they leave that there? I didn't understand the process.
Yeah.
It's not, you just think that what your heroes have done is perfect.
Yeah.
Because it is,
Yeah.
That's the only way you hear it. But there's one bum note. Anyway, when they remixed it all for the inevitable reissue, they fixed it. And it always sounds wrong to me now because I was used to them.
Yeah.
And there's an argument, you can get into an argument about a performance is performance. And in the old days, when every time you saw it, that was it. You didn't get a chance to hear it again. If you did, that it was fixed. You shouldn't go back and fuck about with things.
So did they overlook that? Is that how it remained in there?
Well, I asked Tony, and he said that it was a track called Sub Was Ready. I don't know if you know Genesis, but
not to that level.
There's a huge long fade out, and it's very epic. And originally it was instrumental, and then Peter Gabriel came in and started singing over the end of it, and Tony was really pissed off. It ruined it for him initially. Now he's actually concedes that, I mean, you can see the rivalry there, but anyway, now he concedes that it's genius. But the point was, there was like 2 times or maybe more of this end chorus section that was sung before they got to the instrumental bit where they could then fade it. So they thought they'd be out by then, basically. They thought they'd be all finished, and obviously it went on longer than they expected because of the vocals.
Dave, we're really milking all the questions today. I hope you...
That's cool.
And but
getting the memory going. That's
as I say, this is a dream come true for me and all the Depeche Mode fans. So let's just run through the list here in no particular order. As we spoke on the end of part 2, was that Depeche Mode had sort of started using guitars in this, and you were quite happy about that. Because you were because that sort of, as you say, introduced them to the concept of feedback. Which they started using a lot after that.
Absolutely. But it was all, I mean, because it was a new thing that they were developing. That was exciting because I say it was fun. I find it a bit odd that they were quite stuck in their process, and so I felt I had to kind of learn that process and not and find out how they did things. So to have an element that was new to all of us, it was great, and that just felt so obvious to me because Martin's influences were there with that kind of glittery, stomping guitar and a new element, and it does. Guitar is obviously a rocky, I think, and it was a bit freed up some of the restrictions.
I think, and as we always talk about Depeche Mode, they do sort of push the envelope with every album. They do try to consciously make it very different to the other ones. And a lot of the fanboys here on the channel ask the question, what would Violator have sounded like if Dave Bascombe did? Then they ask the question, what would Music for the Masses sound like if Flood had done it? And my answer to that is, not meaning to be diplomatic, it would be brilliant. They would just be different. If you had done, they'd still be brilliant.
I'm a huge admirer of what Flood did with Violator.
I think it was groundbreaking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I don't think it would have been what it was because he pushed it in a way that's only became really apparent to me afterwards. That I think I wasn't there for the same reasons as he was, but I think if whatever. I mean, as I say, Music of Masses was an album that needed to be made in order to set it up for this continuation and a elaboration of what we were doing in a way.
Yeah.
But I think the main difference, as I've said a couple of times, is really that it was Martin was more involved, I think. And it was closer to his vision. So that whole it's less orchestral because
Yes. No, definitely. As I say, this Music for the Masses is more similar to Songs of Faith and Devotion to me, but that's another story. Yeah, Dave, because a lot of and I say we do the polls on the channel. We've got the research. You and Gareth and Flood are held up as the ones that people sort of look up to, as doing the best ones. Nice. Now, so there was there anything that you used in this album that was sort of a piece of gear, that was very sort of integral to the sound, that if it was not around, it would have made a difference? Or could you...
Well, we're limited by the sampler technology, certainly. So,
and the limitation, once again, becomes a plus.
Absolutely, yeah. And that certainly became a part of the album. So a lot of the samples were emulated too.
Yeah.
Which I think is 8-bit or 16, I can't remember.
Emulated too? It's 8-bit, yeah.
A lot better than the first emulator, but still really grainy but warm. It had frustrating at the time, but it certainly shaped the sound of the album without a doubt. Sure. And as I said, anything like a vocal or a snare drum that needed really high quality sonics, we'd put into the synclavier, but that was painful and slow had its own sound.
Yeah. Were there any songs, with the demos that came in? Obviously, there were songs that didn't make the final cut. Were there any songs that you thought should have made the final cut? But
I never heard the demos in that sense.
So they just presented. They said these are the 10 songs, and this is what we.
Right. I mean, so I went with to Alan's a few times to hear stuff in progress, but I wasn't involved in the decision making on what was going to go on the album. So
yeah. On the song "I Want You Now," you've got the. Is that Martin's doing that? No. Was that a porn video?
It's a porn video, but then we added to it because we happened to be in Paris during Fashion Week. Model Week, which was a real hardship. It was terrible going out to seeing these girls everywhere. So we invited them, 2 of them, back to the studio, and we asked them to
do
that. So we had it for a bit of, because the video, the porn video ones were a bit lo-fi.
Oh, I can imagine.
So we just got a bit of,
which could have worked in this sort of lo-fi kind of way.
But actually, listen to it again. The bit that fascinates me is the horrible sleazy breathing. Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, you listened to it just now, and I thought, God, it really sounds like a person, but it's not. It's an accordion.
Yeah, that's right.
Just with no keys being.
Just the air
going through it. Yeah.
And whose idea was that?
I think Alan saw it knocking about.
Really?
And we did that at Puck, I remember, because that's a stereo, good quality sample, and we used their Fairlight. And they had a Fairlight. That's one of the first times I'd seen one. A Fairlight 3, this is, and which is new. And it would do stereo sampling in good quality, so we used it for that.
Okay, that's fascinating. So it was really just being very resourceful, seeing what's around, and just saying, "Oh, we'll hit that."
But it is amazing how it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah,
considering it's not a sleazy human doing dirty breathing.
That's interesting. Now, a question on the song "To Have and to Hold." You've got that radio sample in the beginning, which is Russian. It's one of my Russian subscribers said it says something about the nuclear arms race or something like that. So where did you get that from?
Can't remember.
So Martin just brought that in.
I think it's probably Alan. Maybe
Alan,
it could have been Martin.
They just brought it
in. Yeah.
And a question as well is on the song "To Have and to Hold." What's the story with the Spanish taster mix? There was something about Alan wanting that on the album or not something like that. I'm sorry, I'm so vague.
Oh God, well I can't remember. So was it?
Because
it's a totally different version from this.
Yeah, because the one on the album, I think that's difficult when you're making an album is you come up with these different versions and how do you choose?
I think it was just a kind of a fun remix probably that we did I really can't remember now, but it ended up with a very different flavour. But I think it was probably just intended as a remix.
I see.
Extra track.
I see.
And then if Alan wanted it on the album, probably because we realised it was really good. So did it not go on the album? I can't remember.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And
right.
But there were some great associated tracks with this album. As I said, there was Agent Orange.
Yeah.
There was obviously that Spanish taster.
Aggro Mix.
Aggro Mix was fantastic, and so was the split mix of Never Let Me
Split
Down.
Mix. I get the muddle up which one.
Who did the split mix?
Well, we did both those there. Yeah, we did. We do. In those days, you'd kind of do
like a maxi, so to speak.
Yeah, you do extra versions, and then yes, I think you did.
Yeah.
And I don't. Did he do Behind the Wheel? Was it him or someone? Or one of those dance? I mean, all these kind of kids coming out with that guys. Right, okay.
Big Masters, yeah.
I mean, that's when I said, not my cup of tea, and I didn't like it. And I think that's when, but see, Depeche were always kind of into that world more than I was. They kept up to date with all the kind of dance stuff, and as it obviously you can tell the stuff they went on to do. But that was a real disappointment for me. It's like selling out. If that's it's not really the right thing, sort of. But it didn't fit the whole ethos for me at all.
Yeah, it was a bit. There's a video on the Strange 2 where it's got that it's got that Behind the Wheels got this like a it's like really like techno-y, and I kind of like it. Right. I preferred the obviously the version you guys did. Yeah. The dup. Yeah, radio friendly. Yeah. Behind the Wheel also had a very. I always like to use the term claustrophobic type of sound. It's just that simplistic kick and how it loops. And as Alan talked about on interviews, that a lot of the ideas in this album was an idea starting and looping, adding more to it.
Just building. Yeah. That's not one of my favourites actually. I know a lot of people really like it. I've never really quite got that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. Well, Dave, listen, I am satisfied that I've asked everything I came here to ask you.
Good.
And as I said, this has been an absolute dream come true, and I'm really grateful for your time. So I've got a small gift that I'm going to give to you afterwards. But before I give you the small gift, this is for my YouTube channel. I promised them that those who pledged to help us fund this little expedition will get a signatured version of Music for the Masses.
Well, as I said to you a minute ago off camera, the trouble with this is my signature is just an illegible scrawl. It's basically... So how much it's worth, because you never know who it is. So I'm explaining it is actually me. Well, if I try and write my name properly, it looks like a kid doing it.
You're just out of practice, my friend.
Well, yeah.
Where should you think there should... I think over there, because there's lots of space there.
All right, so this is actually me.
Yeah.
And this is embarrassing.
Dave.
That's just Could be anything.
That could be anything.
I used to try and cash checks in France with that, and they just go.
Well, I tell you what. Then
it starts with the D. That's about it.
That's great. Then why don't you just write David Bascombe underneath?
That's what I normally do. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's got a signature like that. It's what he calls a controlled scribble, and then he signs his name afterwards.
Right. Well, I do have to end up writing my name underneath, inevitably.
That's brilliant. See that, guys? Is that the close-up one? Yeah. 3 of you will be winning one of these. Thank you, Dave. I can see the envy in the guys on the sofa there. Thank you. One. Thank you very much, sir. And just one more. These are quite well packaged.
These are
reissues. Yeah.
Okay. Right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Can't open this one.
Pen.
I feel really wussy now.
Do have some scissors.
Oh no, I got it. It's just because. Well, it's just I don't want to. Yeah, I just don't want to scratch the surface. Thanks, Dave. Just this one, please. Thank you, Dave.
Pleasure.
See you guys. There we go. 3 of you lucky guys will be winning one of these. And Dave, just as a gesture of my gratitude today, I just wanted to also say thank you to Jill and Stephanie from the office.
Cool, yeah.
They were very, very helpful and resourceful and helped me pull this off. And I asked them, I said, I want to give Dave a little gift. I said, what is his poison? And I think Jill wasn't sure, but Stephanie said, no, he does like a good scotch.
Wow. So, I do like a good scotch. It's fantastic.
As a token of my appreciation nice for seeing us. And as I said, we agreed to this interview probably late last year, and there's been the wave of anticipation has carried on.
Well, I hope it's worth it.
No, it certainly will be.
Yeah, and, I mean, I could talk for hours, but how much of it is any use?
Well, you know, sir, Rusty Egan, if you're watching, he could talk for hours. The idea today was just really to come and ask the questions that I've always wanted to know.
Cool.
I know we're going to go back and go, oh, what about that? But I'm very happy to say I think we're going to come away with a good show here.
Oh, absolute pleasure, and thanks very much for that.
Thank you so much. Guys, check out Dave Bascombe. I'm going to put links to everything below. And yeah, we'll keep in touch with you.
Excellent.
Dave, thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.